Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the New York Times. This was published on February 12th. It's written by David Leonhardt. And look at the title here. COVID Absolutism and What Else You Need to Know Today. All right. Good morning. We look at the debate over coronavirus absolutism. Yeah. New York Times is publishing this. Let's get into their article here. In a public health emergency, absolutism is a very tempting response. People should cease all behavior that creates additional risk. No, it isn't. It is not a tempting response. It is the response of authoritarians. I'm sorry, but it is. All right? They didn't do the shit that we've done today. This is unprecedented. Okay? When you look at the Spanish flu, none of this shit happened. Okay? You didn't see masks being forced. You didn't see all the shit going on now. And people survived. This instinct led to calls for gay men to stop having sex during the AIDS crisis. Bullshit! That's not what happened. There were calls for gay men to stop having unprotected sex during the AIDS epidemic. Don't try to revise history, fucking Leon. Or David, David Leonhardt. Trying to revise fucking history. It was, hey, wrap your fucking dick, you stupid shit. AIDS is ravaging the gay community. Put a condom on it, you stupid fuck. Was what was going on. It wasn't, don't fucking have sex, because they knew gay men, being promiscuous as they were, especially back during those days, which is why it spread through the fucking gay community like wild fucking fire. Okay? They said, wrap your dick, you stupid shit. That's what they said. They didn't say, oh, you shouldn't have sex. Holy shit. It also spurred campaigns for teenage abstinence to reduce sexually transmitted diseases and pregnancies. Oh no, heaven forbid. Telling kids they're too young to be able to handle something as mature, that requires maturity like sex. Oh my God, that's such a bad fucking thing. And they're trying to fucking link that to the fucking AIDS shit, which is complete horse shit. And to fight obesity, people have been drawn to fads like the elimination of trans fat and carbohydrates. Well, trans fats have been removed because of more than just that. This isn't like, people have been drawn into fads. When you literally have all these companies pulling trans fats out of their shit, you can't exactly call that a fucking fad. Sorry, you can't. And this is a bullshit comparison anyways, with the dieting and AIDS. This guy is all over the place. David is seriously dishonest. When he's trying to compare obesity, teenage abstinence, and that to the fact of the AIDS epidemic, and lying about it when it was gay men were told to wrap their dicks. As opposed to, they weren't, it's opposed to being told, stop having sex. These days, there is this new absolutist health fad, the discouragement or even prohibition of any behavior that seems to increase the risk of coronavirus infection even minutely. Bullshit! Because if that was the case, okay, speaking of the fucking gay shit, all right, then you wouldn't have like the tranny fucking assistant fucking health, whatever the fuck that took their mother out of the fucking nursing homes and then sent the infected in. That fucking piece of shit was pushing shit, okay, about gay fucking orgies and shit, okay? Put a mask on, okay, and, try not kissing, but you can suck a dick. Give me a fucking break. When you're trying to say that there is this, behavior that seems to, with this idea of discouragement or prohibition of behavior that seems to increase the risk of coronavirus infection, because when they're saying orgies are okay, but you can't go and have a few people over your fucking house, but you can go and have a fucking 40-person orgy there's a fucking problem. And that's what we've had been going on with this shit. Don't try to misrepresent shit here. This is completely dishonest, sleazy, fucking propagandistic bullshit. Because you have the left saying it's okay. You have Fauci saying it's okay to fucking have an orgy. Okay? And have promiscuous sex and saying Grindr and shit like that. People can go on Grindr and shit. But they should wear a mask and avoid face-on-face fucking. But you can't go and have a couple people over your fucking house. Okay? You can't go and hug grandma. Don't try to portray it like there's this idea of, discouragement or prohibition of behavior that seems to increase risk of coronavirus infections. Because I think when you have a room of fucking people all fucking each other, the risk of coronavirus spread is pretty fucking high. Okay, compared to someone in your house that's a few feet away from you, that's a friend or whatever. That you're just hanging out watching a movie or some shit, or you're over at grandma's house and you give her a fucking hug. You people are vile and disgusting. Seriously. People continue to scream at joggers, walkers, and cyclists who are not wearing masks. The University of California, Berkeley, this week banned outdoor exercise by on-campus students, masked or not, saying the risk is real. Yes, but you can have a fucking orgy in your dorm, okay? You can't exercise on the fucking, on the property with or without a mask. You can't sit there on the grass with or without a mask, but you can have a fucking all-out fucking orgy in your dorm room. This is the fucked up, twisted world we live in. The University of Massachusetts Amherst has banned outdoor walks. It encouraged students to get exercise by accessing food and participating in twice-weekly COVID testing. Oh, and I'm sure over in UMass Amherst, okay, party fucking school, all right? I'm sure you can have fucking orgies there, too, because Fauci said it was okay as long as you don't do face-on-face fucking. So I guess you fucking, if you're gay, you're gonna fuck the dude from behind, or and you're gonna be biting the back of his neck like you would be your pillow. Boom. A related trend is hygiene theater. As Derek Thompson of The Atlantic describes it, the New York City subway system closes every night, for example, so that workers can perform a deep cleaning. This is another thing. You can load people on subway fucking cars, okay? They got no problem with that, but you can't have a couple people at your fucking house. There are two big questions to ask about these actions. How much are they doing to reduce the spread of the virus, and do they have any downside? Then you go into this. No documented cases. The answer to the first question, according to many experts, is they seem to do little good. Prohibiting outdoor activity is unlikely to reduce the spread of the virus, nor is urging people always to wear a mask outdoors. This is the New York Times reporting on this. And all right, I gave them a hard time with their fucking bullshit at the beginning, okay? Well, like lying about the AIDS epidemic and with Fauci and the tranny, saying it's okay to have orgies as long as you're not face-to-face fucking and shit like that. I mean, yeah. But the New York Times is actually saying, hey, this is a bit of bullshit here. It's kind of funny, it's how convenient this shit is now that Biden's in office. They're saying this because they know that, oh, look, Biden, things have gotten better. We can open shit up a little. People can can be outside without masks on. It's about they're fucking pushing their agenda on that particular note. Worldwide scientists have not documented any instances of outdoor transmission unless people were in close conversation. Dr. Muj Sevic, an infectious disease specialist at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, told me, the small number of cases where outdoor transmission might have occurred, she wrote on Twitter, were associated with close interactions, particularly extended duration, or settings where people mixed indoors alongside an outdoor setting. The new variants of the virus are more contagious, but there's no evidence to suggest they will change this pattern. Well, considering PCR tests, okay, can give you false positives, and you have all these false positives, and you have all this situation. This is the easiest to catch fucking disease out there. I mean, hell. Like, everyone can fucking get it. The way that how fucked up shit is with testing and everything else. And it's got a 95 to 99% recovery rate. I mean, you get this, you can be asymptomatic. Well, asymptomatic means you're not, you might be a carrier possibly. Okay? But it didn't affect you. You actually didn't get sick from it. I mean, this is a disease where it's so deadly, you have to get tested to find out you're fucking infected with it. I mean, seriously. As my colleague Tara Parker Pope puts it, avoid breathing the air that other people exhale. That's kind of hard in general. I mean, considering that what people exhale gets mixed into the air around us. And I mean, even if you have people spread out, in theory, you're at least going to breathe some air that someone exhaled somewhere, at least in your general proximity. You could be 20 feet away. You're still going to have that. I mean, I live in a fucking condo complex, okay? And property management put these signs up saying, oh, well, there are 2 people that are infected in the building. And they're basically saying, short of wearing a full body condom, what you should be doing, basically, to that point, just short of a full body condom. And I'm looking at this shit, and I'm like, they do realize that the air in these places technically is all shared. I mean, because you have the hallway, you have the general access areas, you open your door, the air from the other units and the people that were in the hallways and everything else goes into your fucking unit. So even if you wear a full body condom, double mask it, triple wrap it, however you want to look at it with your face. All right, you quadruple wrap that shit. The second you take the mask off in your house, you're breathing in air that someone exhaled because the shit's floating through the air. You know, what people have exhaled, whether it's the virus or whatever else. And I looked at that and I'm like, property management is fucking retarded. And I almost wanted to call them up and go, hey, you're to the broad that fucking runs our condo, our property. I wanted to go, you're fucking retarded. I opened my door from the hallway. My air is contaminated in my unit. So what's the point of wearing a fucking, full body condom, 3 masks, and all the other shit you're recommending? This is the fucking retarded world we get into, where it's like, mysteriously, at the line of your fucking door, the air is different quality. No, that's not how it fucking works. Okay? And they go, oh, well, as long as you don't breathe directly. I don't care if you're outdoors. If you're 20 feet away from someone, you're going to breathe if the wind's blowing in your direction, we'll say. It's not as bad if it isn't, we'll say, especially if it's going, away from you. But if it's blowing in your direction from them, you're eventually, in a minute or whatever, maybe less, you're going to end up breathing shit that they exhaled. That's a given. I mean, this is ridiculous. A student walking across campus, let alone a masked student, presents little risk to another student who remains at least 6 feet away. The same goes for joggers in your neighborhood. 6 feet ain't going to do shit. Okay, I exhale something. It goes out beyond me, well beyond 6 fucking feet. This 6 feet rule is arbitrary fucking bullshit because this is airborne, right, people? If it's airborne, that means 6 feet don't mean shit. This is fucking security theater, we'll call it. But the same goes for joggers in your neighborhood. The story is similar for deep cleaning. Scientists increasingly say that there is little to no evidence that contaminated surfaces can spread the virus. My colleagues Mike Ives and Apoorva Mandavelli have written. Yeah, and it dies, it can die pretty quickly depending on the surface, sunlight, so on and so forth. And the thing is, these cleanings, you don't think that's going to create superbugs? If you are constantly bombarding microbes, whether they're bacteria, whatever, viruses, you don't think that they're going to mutate to the measures that are being taken to kill them? That's why we have antibiotic-resistant strains of fucking bacteria at this point. You don't think that's going to create stronger shit? The one surface that is important to wash frequently and vigorously is the human hand. Which brings us to the second question. Whether there is any downside to absolutism. Yeah! COVID-19 is a horrible disease, and the notion that a jogger somewhere infects somebody she passes, even from more than 6 feet away, is scientifically plausible. Oh my God. So now, after doing the absolutism, well, it's plausible. So why not take every possible precaution at all times? Because there's no need to? Unintended consequences. The short answer is because we are human. Taking every possible precaution is unrealistic. Just as telling all gay men and teenagers to abstain from sex was unrealistic. That's not what they did. With the teenagers, they said, hey. And the reason why they were saying, hey, is because back then, around the time of the AIDS epidemic, and he leaves this out, it wasn't about STDs and shit like that. You had all these young teenage girls getting pregnant. Why? Because at about the same time the AIDS epidemic hit, you had the drinking age at 18, and you had all these 18-year-olds getting drunk, being stupid. Well, actually younger than 18-year-olds, because it's the idea of when your friend turned 21, you turned 21. Back then, when your friend turned 18, you turned 18. Okay? So you had a bunch of young teenage kids getting drunk and fucking without protection, and there was this all of a sudden massive increase, all right, in teenage pregnancy. That was what the abstinence thing was about back then. Okay? With the AIDS epidemic and the gay population, it wasn't about telling them to abstain. They were being told to put a fucking condom on their dick, you dishonest piece of shit. Because they were all fucking each other unprotected, because it's like, well, I'm gay, I'm fucking another guy's ass, I can't get someone pregnant, so I'm just gonna fuck them raw. And they were spreading AIDS, okay, like fucking wildfire. So they said, put a condom on it, you stupid shit. They didn't say stop having sex, they said put a fucking condom on it. This is how dishonest they are. They can't even tell the truth about, the whole thing because, gays were persecuted in the 80s. No, they weren't. Yes, they were. No, they were told to fucking put a condom on it. That's persecution. No, it isn't. It's called safe sex. It's because the fact that you weren't having it back then is why AIDS spread like wildfire through the gay community. But they don't want to admit this shit. Human beings are social creatures who crave connection and pleasure and who cannot minimize danger at all times. Which is why you have Fauci and the tranny fucking assistant medical, whatever the hell that the tranny shitbag is, who took his mother out of fucking nursing home while he sent infected people in Pennsylvania. Okay, saying, you can have fucking orgies. Sucking dick, you can do that, but you might want to think about face-to-face interaction. Okay, now what's funny is COVID, okay, lives in human shit. Okay, and they're like, oh yeah, you can tongue fuck someone's ass. Excuse me? I can't be face-to-face fucking someone, but I can stick my tongue up their ass? Seriously? Uh-huh. It's like, I'm living in fucking clown world with that shit. They're telling you can eat ass, but you can't have face-to-face sex. And this is the fucked up world we live in. And Fauci was fucking going and saying, yeah, well, we're going to have orgies, because gay, people are going to fucking fuck. People who are going to, degenerate groups that are going to fucking sit there and group sex are going to have group sex. So we got to let them have group sex. This is the fucked up world we live in. You can't hug grandma, but orgies are okay. Oish. Despite the risks, we eat carbs, drink wine, go sledding, and even ride in automobiles. Actually, I love that line, this statement here, because carbs in moderation can be good for you, okay? A glass of wine a day, okay, is good for the heart. All right, sledding. Going down a bit of a hill in a fucking sled. Well, that's so dangerous. And even riding automobiles. Oh my God, the risk to life with that. We enjoy taking outdoor walks and drinking a cup of coffee on a public bench. Many people who exercise find it difficult to do so in a mask. It feels like a bit like suffocating, Shannon Pauls wrote in Slate, because you are. You are starving your body of fucking oxygen with these masks. It is unhealthy to be wearing them like we are. This was all fucking scientific fact until this shit of, double, triple, quadruple fucking them up. Seriously. I noticed that some of the clearest voices against COVID absolutism are researchers who spent much time of their career studying HIV, including Sevek, Julia Marcus, Cyril Galoub, and Aaron Richterman. They know the history. The demonization of sex during the AIDS crisis contributed to more unsafe sex. If all sex is bad, why focus on safe sex? Oh my God. This is complete revisionist fucking history, okay? The reason why you had the gays were fucking each other raw, okay, is because they were told not to fuck each other, according to these assholes, when it was they were fucking each other raw. Okay, they were raw dogging it, spreading AIDS, and they were told to fucking put a condom on it. So, because they were told that they were spreading AIDS, okay, by having their fucking, what they believed was consequence-free fucking sex, okay, raw dogging it, somehow led to more raw dogging? Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. Was this fucking retard even alive during the AIDS epidemic? He doesn't look like it. He might have been a very small fucking child. Dude, I was growing up during that shit. I remember that fucking stuff. Okay? They were fucking raw dogging each other. Okay? Like Philadelphia fucking depicts in the movie. Spreading AIDS like fucking wildfire. They weren't told to not have sex. They were told to put a fucking condom on their cock. Holy fucking shit. There is a similar dynamic with COVID. Oh my God. They're comparing, this asshole is actually going to compare COVID to raw dogging gay truck stop sex while shooting up with fucking heroin. Holy shit. People do not have unlimited energy, so we ask them to be vigilant where it matters most, Sevek has written. Telling Americans to wear masks when they're unnecessary undermines efforts to persuade more people to wear masks where they are vital. Well, here's the thing. You're trying to compare wearing masks to to bagging your dick, putting a condom on it. So what are you saying? That there are certain times when you're having your gay truck stop sex that you don't need to bag it and you can raw dog it? Fucking A. Talk about mixed messaging. Remember, Americans are not doing a particularly good job of wearing masks when they make a big difference. They do when they make a big difference indoors and when people are close together outdoors. You assholes were talking about, and the New York Times pushed this shit, about people wearing masks in their own fucking homes. Fuck you, dude. Now you got New York Times going on the opposite side of that shit. When Trump was in office, they're saying, well, you should be wearing masks in the comfort of your own fucking home? Fuck you. Banning college students from outdoor walks won't make them stay inside their dorm rooms for weeks on end, but it probably will increase the chances that wow, I can say this word. I'm just tongue-tied. Surreptitiously gather indoors. I know I butchered it. Whatever. So wait a minute. Banning college students from outdoor... Okay. So what they're saying is you ban them from outdoor walks, they're going to get together and party. No, they're going to get together and party regardless. Holy shit. And spending money on deep cleaning leaves less money for safety measures that will protect people, like faster vaccination. Oh my God. You know what gets me about this shit? They keep pushing vaccination. Do you know what pretty much eradicated most of the fucking diseases, and they don't want to talk about this now because it destroys their bullshit? Okay, it wasn't vaccines. I mean, a nurse that I was dating, her and I got into this one night. We were talking, all right? And this actually ended our dating. I kid you not. We were talking, and she's saying about vaccines and all this other stuff. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm about safe vaccines. There's a difference. Okay? And I tried to explain to her. All right? Now, I have a degree in history. I've studied it. All right? This has been documented. All right? It's part of history. We talk about this in history. All right? One of the things that eradicated most disease, the biggest contributing factor to that was not vaccines. It was proper hygiene and sanitation services, sewage, things like that, sewer service, getting your shit away from where you live, the whole idea of don't shit where you eat. It was that type of stuff, proper sanitation, proper hygiene. It was those two things that were the key factor on the eradication of most disease. So now, if we do proper hygiene and proper sanitation, the risks drop dramatically with COVID, but they keep pushing the vaccine. If you wash your hands regularly, if you wash and keep other things clean that could have the disease transmitted to it, you minimize the risk. But the end all be all is supposedly the vaccine. But they say if you get the vaccine and you're, caught up on all your doses of it, you still got to follow all these fucking arbitrary rules. Which makes no fucking sense, because if you're vaccinated, you should be safe. And this one, if you stop doing basic fucking sanitation, one of the things that eradicated disease, you can put that money towards faster vaccination. That's fucking retarded. That is so fucking retarded and short-sighted and low IQ. It's not even funny. Go learn history, you stupid shit, David. Rules that are really more about showing that if you're doing something versus doing something rules that are really more about showing that you're doing something versus doing something that's actually effective are counterproductive. Marcus told my colleague Ian Prasad Philbrick, trust the currency of public health. Trust the currency of public health. Trust yourselves at this point. Stop giving your fucking autonomy away to these shitbricks who said, we just need 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Now they're talking 3 fucking years. 4 years, 5 years. I mean, this is so dishonest how they present this. They compare the fucking beer virus to AIDS. They lie about what went on back then, because it was put your fucking dick in a condom instead of raw dogging it. Okay? And they're claiming that the gays were told not to have sex. Okay? They take the fact that kids, because the drinking age was 18, there was a mass increase in teenage pregnancy, and they were trying to change that situation. They're trying to say that was because of AIDS. This is completely dishonest bullshit in this. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm leaving things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.